Hello and welcome, I'm Ruby Barlow and you're watching The World Report on NewsX World. Let's take a look at some of the headlines of this hour. Former Labor Cabinet Minister Peter Mandelson has been released on police bail following questioning over alleged misconduct in public office. Scotland Yard opened an inquiry into the ex-business secretary after material surfaced indicating that he may have passed classified Whitehall intelligence to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. US President Donald Trump threatened nations with punishing tariff hikes if they play games after his trade policy setback before the Supreme Court. President Donald Trump has denied reports that the top US military officer has flagged the risks of a major operation against Iran, saying Washington would easily defeat Tehran in any conflict. The US ambassador to France, Charles Kushner, has been barred from meeting French government officials after failing to appear at the foreign ministry where he was summoned over earlier remarks about the killing of far-right activists in France. French officials said the no-show was a breach of diplomatic expectations. Ukraine is marking the 4th anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion with a show of solidarity from its staunchest allies and no immediate end in sight to Europe's biggest war since World War II. The United States is holding meetings in Geneva with Russian and Chinese delegations about nuclear weapons after the final treaty restricting Washington and Moscow's nuclear deployment expired. Mexico has deployed 10,000 troops to quell clashes sparked by the killing of the country's most wanted drug lord that claimed dozens of lives. News of his death triggered spasms of violence, with cartel members blocking roads in 20 states and torching vehicles and businesses. South Korea's former president Yoon Suk-yeol has filed an appeal against an insurrection conviction stemming from his 2024 martial law declaration. And now to our top story. China has announced that it is closely monitoring US policies and will decide in due course whether to adjust countermeasures to the new tariffs imposed by US President Donald Trump. This comes after Trump declared a new temporary tariff of 15% on US imports from all countries, following a Supreme Court ruling that his previous tariffs were imposed beyond his authority. A Chinese Commerce Ministry official stated that Beijing remains open to frank consultations during the upcoming 6th round of US-China trade talks. China has consistently opposed unilateral tariffs and is urging the US to cancel them. The new tariff comes after the Supreme Court struck down tariffs on Chinese goods under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Previous tariffs on Chinese goods remain in place, and China had retaliated with countermeasures, including duties on US agricultural and energy products. Trump's visit to China in late March is expected to focus on these ongoing trade issues. And joining us live, we have Dr. Satoru Nagao, who is a fellow at the Hudson Institute, joining us from Tokyo. Dr. Nagao, what do you believe that the Supreme Court's recent decision has played a large influence in China willing to go to the next round of negotiations, or do you believe that it could just be a effort by China to move forward trade relations?
In this case, China believes they have the advantage in the negotiation because even if the President Trump want to continue the tariff by using the other law, and there's a possibility it could be the legal in the long run. During President Trump seeking the backbone of the legal in the country, China can push the United States to decline the percentage or eliminate all of the tariff could happen in the negotiation, they believe. So that's why China will push the United States just now and the U.S. face a little tough negotiation now. But anyway, the President Trump tried to find the legal background of the tariff and impose the tariff. It's their policy, and this is the strategic move in the Trump administration. So that's why even if China believes this is advantage, United States will not back down, I think, because if the United States allow China to change the tariff because of this, the other country will follow. So that's why the U.S. government will not back down in the negotiation to avoid such kind of situation, I think.
Don't go very far, Dr. Nagao, as we move to our next story, where China's foreign ministry has says that it will safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of Hong Kong-based conglomerate CK Hutchison after the Panamanian authorities took control of 2 ports on the Panama Canal from the company. Listen in.
中方在巴拿马有关港口问题上的立场是明确的。我相信你也注意到，有关企业已经发表了声明，表示将保留包括诉诸法律程序在内的一切权利。中方将坚决维护企业的正当合法权益。
This comes as the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region launched a strong protest and delivered a stern rebuke to Panama over its government's forceful takeover of 2 key ports on the Panama Canal operated by Hong Kong's CK Hutchison. The protest, lodged with Panama's Consul General in the city by the Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development, Algernon Yao Yinghua, was made 1 day after the Panamanian authorities took over control and operations of the Balboa and Cristobal ports from Panama Ports Company, a subsidiary of CK Hutchison. And joining us again, we have just Dr. Satoru Nagao. Dr. Nagao, how do you believe that this latest decision will affect China's willingness to do business in Latin America and in Panama in general? Will they look to diversify their interests in the region, or perhaps look to alternative routes like land routes over Latin America?
In this case, all of the negotiation between U.S. and China is affected because China believes the court decision in the United States it has an advantage, and originally China do not like the U.S. under President Trump's policy toward China, including tariff, including the Panama Canal, including etc. Everything the U.S. try to make pressure to China. So now the U.S. court decision related to the tariff or court decision related with others, China has the advantage, they believe. So now is the time to strike back and push back, and in the negotiations they start to believe. So even if this is miscalculation, I believe, because President Trump will not back down this policy, but if China believes that this is a chance and exploit it and push U.S. back very strongly, it is China expected too much, I believe. So, but because if the U.S. back down, the other country will push the United States like China. So this is more tough for the United States. So U.S. cannot back down. So that's why the U.S. will not back down, but China expects U.S. will back down. So that's why this negotiation will be tough. But both the U.S. and China cannot get enough benefit they expect. But that could happen, I believe.
Dr. Satoru, please keep with us as we move to our next story in Pakistan, as according to reports, 5 police officials were killed in Kohat City after gunmen attacked their patrol vehicle and set it on fire. The attack comes amid a surge in terrorist violence following a similar assault in nearby Karak that killed 3 paramilitary troops. Pakistan recently carried out airstrikes across the border in Afghanistan targeting terrorists, a move that reportedly killed at least 13 civilians, heightening tensions between the 2 neighbours. Dr. Satoru, how do you believe, why do you believe that no group has yet claimed responsibility for this attack?
In this case, a little bit controversial is who attacked first. It looks like the egg or chicken, which one first. So, because Taliban activity in the Pakistan attacked many places in Pakistan. And Pakistan's army pushed them back to the Afghanistan. Despite this, under the President Khan, former president, he tried to agree with Taliban in Pakistan, which escaped to the Afghanistan, to return to the Pakistan after the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan in 2021. So this was the starting point. But the condition, he said, was disarming the condition is if the Pakistan and Taliban will disarm themselves, they can return. But what really happens is they return with arms. So that's why under the new government, after that, they start to fight in the Pakistan and push them back to the Afghanistan, but continue to fight in Pakistan. Now Pakistan bombed Afghanistan, and the Taliban in Pakistan upset this situation and supporting the Pakistan in Taliban. Taliban in Pakistan, and so this kind of incident is related with Pakistan. Taliban has occurred in many places, and Pakistan will upset, I believe, so, and they will bomb Afghanistan again. And so this is a battle. One side use terrorists, gunmen, other side use airstrikes or howitzers or something. So, and cross the border firing continue between the Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Dr. Satoru, do you believe that this incident is another event in a broader trend of militant violence against security forces, or could it be perhaps an isolated incident, seeing as we don't know who was responsible for the attack at this moment?
View from the background storage, I believe this is a terrorist incident Pakistan and Taliban involved. Because recently the Pakistani government bombed the terrorist camp in Afghanistan, and this terrorist camp is it's Pakistan and Taliban. So that's why Pakistan and Taliban try to attack Pakistan again. So they are fighting. One side, Pakistan Taliban is using the gunmen, and Pakistan side use the airstrike, and they are fighting. That is happening, I believe. So this is a terrorist related to Pakistan Taliban, I believe. But if this is the terrorist activity of the other group to attack the Syria in Pakistan was something. Of course, in case of Pakistan, there's a possibility it could happen. But view from the locations, there's a possibility, a high possibility that this is a terrorist attack of the Pakistan Taliban involved. Yes, the Taliban in Pakistan involved, sorry. This is, okay, sorry.
Dr. Satoru, thank you so much for joining us today on the show. Now moving to our next story, the Iranian government spokeswoman, Fatemeh Mohajerani, has said that university students have the rights to protest, but everyone must understand the red lines. Mohajerani has added that sanctities and the flag are two examples of these red lines that we must protect and not cross, or deviate from, even at the height of anger. Let's listen in to what Fatemeh Mohajerani had to say.
حق اعتراض داره. دانشجو زخمی رو بر دل داره و زخمی رو دیده که طبیعتاً از اون میتونه عصبانی بشه. ولی باید بدونیم که خط قرمزها رو باید همه ما درک کنیم. مقدسات و پرچم دو گونه از خط قرمزهایی هستند که باید مراقبت بکنیم در عین عصبانیت از اونها عبور و عدول نکنیم.
Now, Iran is reportedly on the verge of finalizing a deal with China to purchase advanced anti-ship cruise missiles. The deal involves the Chinese-made CM-302 missiles, which have a range of approximately 290 kilometers and are designed to evasively strike targets by flying low and fast. These supersonic missiles would significantly enhance Iran's military capabilities and would also pose a potential threat to US naval forces in the region. Negotiations, which began at least 2 years ago, gained momentum after the Israel-Iran conflict in June last year. High-level Iranian officials, including Deputy Defense Minister Masoud Orei, visited China last summer to finalize the deal. While the exact details, including the number of missiles and the payment terms, remain unclear, experts consider the deal a game-changer, given the missile's difficulty to intercept. China's willingness to supply Iran with such advanced weaponry would further complicate US efforts to restrict Iran's military growth and nuclear program, while signaling China's increasing military engagement in a region traditionally dominated by US power. Now joining us live, we have Ali Mohammed Abushbak, who is a Middle East researcher based out of Cairo. Ali, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, in your opinion, do these latest moves, the purchase of these missiles, will they affect the negotiations currently underway between the US and Iran, as it could be seen as a potential development to stymie the threat of military action that Trump has been talking about these last couple of days?
Thank you for having me. This is not the first time, and this is not the first deal between that's related to the deal between Iran and other country with regard buy a weapon. Last week also there is a lack of information about Iran have been agreed and talked to Russia to buy a shoulder-fired missile that's to enhance their power and to enhance the defense system in Iran. And that was last week, and today also it's about the cybersonic missile from China. That's mean the line and that the access between Iran and the access between Russia and China, they will be together, and that's mean Iran want to send a message. I'm not sure if it's a true or no, just only such kind of information to amplify the power of Iran, and that's giving the justification for America to attack Iran or to launch a war against Iran. That's mean Iran it's imposing a danger to the area and to the region. That's giving the green light for America if this is a true or no. But the thing is here also today morning there is Islamic Revolution Regard also have committed a drill in South Iran that's using a drone, using a missile, using a defense area. That's according to the Iranian television. They confirmed this drills. It's to defend this area, and that's also this is a second drill since the week when the Iran also tried to make a drill to close Hormuz as well as joining with Russia. All of these a message to the America, to United States, that Iran is ready for the war. But in my opinion, this is indirect message also to the Iranian delegation, Abbas Araghchi, especially. You shouldn't to give up. You shouldn't to make a concession for America in case of our national goal, about our national aims. That's a nuclear weapon or a nuclear program. We have a power to defend ourselves. This is an indirect message to Araghchi. And that's giving him more, a power to stress on his demand, or to stress on his, what they call it, legitimate demands. But also, this increase the situation, that's escalate the situation on the ground, because America also is to start mobilizing, military mobilizing its aircraft in the region. And today we have seen also this is the most this number, it's not represented since the war 2003 when America waged the war against Iraq. That's making the area it's more intention. But also here that the coming Thursday, it's very crucial because this is the last chance. According to the a leak from the Western media, they confirmed that this is the last chance for Iranian, and the strike against Iran, it's based on the what Witkoff and Kushner they will provide Donald Trump. If they will feel that Iran is going to make a concession and it's going to give up and it's going to be more flexible, that will they will continue the diplomatic faith. But if Iran is still make strict and I mean it's very tough to reach out to the any solution or resolution with Iran, that's mean that strike it's very close. In my opinion, this kind of a news about the Iranians deal with Russia about to buy a weapon with America, with China to buy a weapon, this is to amplify the power of Iran. That same happened in 2003 when they are attacked Iraq, Saddam Hussein regime. Also, they consider that he has a destructive missile weapon and a massive destructive missile weapon, but ultimately his army has nothing except AK-47. This kind of I mean, in news just
Ali, I'm so
highlighted.
sorry to interrupt, but we just need to move on to our next story. Please stay with us now as we move to Europe, where Portugal has confirmed a significant increase in US military activity at the Lajes Air Base in Azores. This base, located in the strategic mid-Atlantic, has become a key location as tensions with Iran escalate. The increase in US operations comes under a 1951 agreement allowing US access without prior notification to Portuguese authorities. Portuguese Foreign Minister Paulo Rangel said the surge in activity is primarily around overflights, stoppers, and possible refueling or staging operations. He noted the US is not moving offensive assets through the base and the specific scale or duration remains unclear. Defense analysts suggest that spikes in traffic typically signal logistical preparations, not necessarily military action, though the timing comes amid rising US-Iran friction and regional instability. Joining us again, we have Ali Mohamed Abushbak, who is a Middle East researcher in Cairo. Ali, just based on this story, do you believe that in the context of the current tensions in the Middle East, that this could influence Portugal's role and reputation within NATO, given the current build-up of American firepower in the Mediterranean and Middle East area?
See, this kind of mobilization, it's not represented, and I guess this kind of, I mean, this, it's not just has no any justification about, I mean, the reason of this kind of action or this active on the Mediterranean Sea and on also not only Mediterranean Sea, because in all the region, especially in Middle East. So the things is its situation is boiling and it's fragile. I mean, it's also has no any kind of justification about such kind of action or active on the ground. But also I can't find any kind of interpretation about it, except this kind of it's a part of I mean, warning for what is coming. I mean, alarm what is happening. I'm not sure about it also. This America is preparing for a huge war, but also Donald Trump, he's such a person who doesn't believe on the long-term war or long-term period war. So that's the things, but also all the sign on the ground share see that there is a several of signs that showing that Donald Trump, he's a very serious about bombing Iran. It's not about using Portugal or another also bases in region. It's also about, I mean, it's about Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea. Also, we are talking about the Hormones, we are talking about several of things. So
Ali
that's make
Mohammed
it
Bushback, I'm so sorry, but that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Moving to our next story, FedEx has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration seeking a full refund of tariff payments if made under policies ruled illegal by the US Supreme Court. The complaint lodged in the US Court of International Trade challenges tariffs imposed by the International Economic Emergency Powers Act. The Supreme Court recently ruled that Trump overstepped his authority with these tariffs. While the court didn't specify whether businesses are entitled to refunds, experts expect a wave of lawsuits in the coming years. FedEx is asking for a refund of duties paid last year, plus interest and legal fees. The company joins others, including Costco and Revlon, in seeking compensation. And now moving our focus to Singapore, where our correspondent Roshan Gidwani is covering the visit of Yogi Adityanath, who is India's Uttar Pradesh's chief minister. The visit is focused on discussions around investment opportunities in sectors such as data centres, logistics hubs, renewable energy and industrial infrastructure. Gidwani speaks with Samir M. Upadhyay, founder and CSRO of VDC Education, about the potential for growth in Uttar Pradesh. Listen in.
Hello, I'm Roshan Gidwani for NewsX World, and today I'm sitting with Samir Upadhyay, the co-founder of VDC. Of course, we're here at the Shangri-La, where the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh is visiting. His name is none other than Yogi Adityanath. It's been a full 2 days so far. It's the 24th of February, 2026, and today I'd like to find out more from Mr. Upadhyay himself about VDC and his plans to grow his business into becoming one that puts Uttar Pradesh on the map for students all over the world. Mr. Upadhyay, please, what is your vision exactly for your company and the future of education in Uttar Pradesh?
The future of education in Uttar Pradesh is so great because if you see, we have the most international universities like you can see Amity and Rai, Ashoka, so many universities are there, and they are, you can find the same Amity University in Singapore also. You know, they have a branch in Dubai, they have in Singapore. So the future of the universities of Uttar Pradesh is much brighter, and it's focus oriented with the career of the students who are living in Uttar Pradesh. Plus, as my founder told you earlier, that it's basically the population of the entire Europe. Okay, so there are much more opportunities, and when we are talking about the visionary Prime Minister and the bold and implemented Chief Minister Mr. Yogi Adityanath ji, what people wants to that they do pursue the career outside India and they want to come back, because every state has their own ODOP, one district, one product, if you know about that. And you know, we have a defense corridor, we have a semiconductor, we have a biggest airport coming. So there are immense job opportunities in UP coming back after pursuing a good course or career worldwide.
Fantastic. Now, I asked your co-founder this just a few seconds ago. You were in the room. So I'd really like to know as well, from your perspective, what are some of the trends you've noticed for future careers in Uttar Pradesh and around the world? You specifically.
Again, he told the same thing, which I will also, continue with the same, what do you say is point. Careers are evolving and revolving. Even if you talk about an actor or about a politician or any sports person, they have to evolve and revolve every day. So it is not that fixed. Okay, like there are so many multitasking people nowadays. Even the politicians are good, basically influencer. Even the sports person has a big good in advertisement. So they have never find a career as a sportsman. They find might be in marketing or any other job. So it all depends, what my founder also told, that make your passion as profession rather than going on just numbers or just follow it. So follow your dream, follow your passion, and you will be having a much more clarity in your life.
Fantastic. I really like that answer. Essentially, you have to work hard and evolve. Now, when we think about future or postgraduate degrees, rather, post-undergraduate careers in education, something I read or listened to the other day came up in my mind, which kind of revolves around the fact that business is more so than, like you just said, more so than the numbers. It really comes down to the people skills. Is this also being developed in universities there? Are there careers for that? Or in your past experience, what can you tell me about maybe a certain example or an instance where it was the way you conducted yourself that got you in the room more than what you had done, or the degree that you'd done, please?
See, again, it is the same thing, when you are going for the practical knowledge, okay, the things are different rather than the theoretical. And thanks to our Prime Minister, who has the vision, who has introduced through the new national education policy in 2020, where he has focused on careers and the skilling. Okay, so right skill if you have, okay, you can choose that career, because initially there were, when you might be studying 15 years or 20 years back, all right, there are 3-4 careers only in the life. Now, and the subjects also, you have to choose only these subjects. Now the government has introduced a good quality of subjects. You can find anything which belongs to you, not to the result oriented. So in that case, the government is also supporting, plus now the children's and the parents all are looking up, okay, you cannot be a doctor. Everybody cannot be a doctor in one classroom, okay? So you can choose another career, you can choose in multimedia, you can have mass communication, you have engineering, so many careers are there. And as we have focused on AI to our platform, we have more than 33,000 careers over there. The repository of 33,000 careers are there. So you can find which is rightly suitable to you according to your efficiency.
What about support after all of this is done, right? The schooling is done and everything. Can these students come back to your company and then essentially gain support for finding a job?
See, we are not into the jobs, but the thing is that we are into, from the primary schooling, we used to guide them that if you want to go for an Ivy League or if you want to go for a particular career, then how the pathways come through the career. And that's why we have our own product called Pathlinks. Okay, and Pathlinks makes you supportive throughout your journey. It is not just we used to tell you that, oh, this is a career. Now, which career, where, what price, what date of indication is there, plus which exams you have to be given to go to this particular career. And afterwards also, we used to find their admissions and everything over there, plus visas, plus settlement, everything is one platform. So you don't have to go and place in bits and pieces and Google out for different things. So that is what our focus is. And the last thing which I would like to tell, that what I and Karun have found, we are not biased with any country, any university. Okay, so you can find a same university just next door. Why you have to come to Singapore? Okay, and if you find in Singapore, why do you have to go to the United States of America? So this all belongs to in a one platform, so that you don't have to worry about your career.
Don't stress about it too much. Yeah. Use VDC with Mr. Upadhyay and Karun at the helm of things. Fantastic. It all leads to student victory, right? At the end of the day. Brilliant. I'm Roshan Gidwani for NewsX World.
And that's all that we have time for. Keep watching NewsX World for more news updates from around the world.